we heard from a listener named Wendy. She writes, I feel that listening to you makes my brain cells grow. I don't know about that, but each week Grant and I do try to bring you a zesty mix of information and entertainment. And we do this without funding from NPR or from any radio station. We're independently produced, and that means we need your help. So please go to waywardradio.org. Click on that top button at the far right that says Donate, and make your year-end tax-deductible contribution today. Away with words. Think of it as Miracle Grow for your mind. Thanks.
You're listening to Away with Words, the show about language and how we use it. I'm Grant Barrett.
And I'm Martha Barnett. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about breaking up. Specifically, how do you decide when it's time to break up with a book? Maybe you've given it 10 pages or 20 or 50. Grant, you said you gave him 100,
I
right?
tried.
But you decide that it's just not working for you. What do you do? Well, we heard from a lot of you who said you were really relieved to hear that conversation because you felt less guilty about deciding to move on. But my favorite email came from John Benbow. John lives in San Diego, and he said he has a term for this when he breaks up with a book. He calls it post-publication editing. Isn't that great?
That's great.
And he says that he considers post-publication editing necessary in the absence of good pre-publication editing. And he adds, many a book should have been an essay, many an essay should have been a paragraph, many a paragraph should have been a sentence. Isn't that great?
John, I'm with you, brother.
Me too, and you should see that sentence. Beautiful semicolons throughout. It was great. But Grant, it occurs to me that we should talk about the happier side of the romance with books, and that is specifically playing matchmaker, trying to fix somebody up with a book that we really love. And we'll do that a little bit later in the show, but I wonder if other folks would like to share theirs.
Oh, I'd love to hear from anyone who has a book that they always recommend to everybody. What is your go-to book when you're trying to get somebody to read? You want them to read your favorite book. Yeah. What is it?
Novel, short
How do you
story?
convince them? What is the book? Send us an email, words@waywardradio.org, or give us a call on the telephone, 877-929-9673.
Hi, you have a way with words.
Hi there. This is Gloria Braddock. I'm calling from Indianapolis.
Hiya, Gloria. How are you?
Hi, Gloria.
Well, I have a question. My sisters and I go on it's called a sister connection every fall, and we were trying to take a group picture. My sister was standing there saying, I'll stand out, I'll take the cameras, and I'll take the picture. And a young man came bounding over to us, and he saw what our need was, and he said, hey, I'll take the picture. You can all be in the picture. And I hope he's listening because he did a great job. The picture turned out awesome. So he left, and one of my sisters said, thanks for being Johnny on the spot. And my younger sister looked at her and whispered, you just called him a porta potty. And I'm going, excuse me? I thought Johnny on the spot meant like he was there, he saw me, he was ready. Then the more I thought about it, it was like, wow, maybe she's right. It could be both. It makes sense. What came first?
Gloria, how many sisters do you have? How many were there?
I have 4 sisters. We have a sister-in-law who goes with us and a stepsister. So we have a group.
So in the 7 of you, how many of you agreed that Johnny on the Spot was a porta potty or a portable toilet?
2.
2.
There were 2 that thought, yeah, I think that's what it is. And the other 3 of us, we got in. We were in this. Then we went to a gift shop and we're in there kind of whispering and talking. No, I don't know who was over, eavesdropping on our conversation, but it had to be interesting.
Oh, this is really interesting.
Nice.
I would call this a lexical collision because you've got 2 different meanings of a term, and they're both valid. And so this is just a place where they run into each other, and the context isn't necessarily completely clear. Here's what happened to you. This is how you get to that position where there's some confusion. There's an expression called Johnny on the Spot that dates to the 1870s, and it does refer to a person who shows up at just the right time to help out. Johnny on the Spot. And then there's a term John, meaning toilet or outhouse, which dates to the early 1900s. It's a little less common in the South, a little more common in the North and the West. And then there's another term, Johnny house, which means outhouse, which is far more common in the South and not so common in the North. So you've got these 3 different terms. And then you've got the people in the business of making portable toilets. and apparently they are devious punsters. Because what they like to do, and this happens all over the country, they rifle through the English language, finding words that they can turn into toilet puns. And so this Johnny on the Spot pun has been used so many times for businesses that make, sell, rent, whatever, portable toilets. There are tons of them called Johnny on the Spot. There might even be a chain, for all I know. And so they took this term that already existed in English and applied it to their business. And so this is how you get this confusion.
I was guessing that was what it was.
It's really interesting, though, because a lot of people might think now that because they've only known that one particular brand of portable toilet, that's what they're... Like in my lexicon, in my idiolect, it's always a porta potty, which is also a brand
that's what
name.
I call 'em, yeah.
It's also a
Now,
brand
see,
name.
he was a young man, so that he may have been thinking that too. I'm older, and I think I'd heard it before as
Yeah.
a young child.
So,
Yeah.
so Johnny on the Spot, meaning the person who shows up at just the right moment to help out, is not that common anymore, but it does exist. You will find it in literature and more thoughtful writing. It's not the kind of thing that you're going to see in like Facebook posts usually.
But there wasn't one John who did that.
No.
One guy named John.
No, Johnny is like the generic
Yeah.
for the generic term for any guy or any dude, right?
Very interesting, yeah.
So now you got to go back to your sisters and explain all this.
I know. I told them that I was going to ask you guys, and they just thought it was hilarious. Because at the time, we were all, hey, no, surely he didn't think that. He couldn't have thought that.
You know, we're never too old for potty jokes.
Right.
Clearly.
Thank you so much
Hey,
for
Gloria,
calling.
thanks for
Really
calling.
appreciate it.
Hey, this has been fun. Thanks.
All right, take care.
Got my answer.
Bye.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.
You know, there's a couple other terms for outhouses or toilets that the Dictionary of American Regional English,
Yeah.
my favorite dictionary of all time, has an entry for Mrs. Jones. Apparently,
Mrs.
Miss
Jones.
Janet, Mother Jones, Mrs. Murphy, and Neighbor Jones are also all terms for an outhouse or a toilet.
Is that right?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And it's part of the euphemistic tradition of not referring directly to this place where we defecate and urinate.
Well, right. I mean, I remember if you're talking about indoor plumbing, you can say, I'm going to go see Miss White.
Yes, yes. That's a little,
Visit Miss
that's
White.
a little more obvious to me.
Yeah.
English language is amazing, but you still have questions, right? Well, send them an email to words@waywardradio.org or call us on the telephone, 877-929-9673. Do you remember in 2008 when we talked about suicides?
Yeah, where you go down the line at the fountain
Yeah.
and you put all those
Tab,
different...
Coke, Diet Coke, Mountain Dew, just put them all in there. yeah, put them all in there. Well, in most of the country, they're called suicides,
Yeah.
but in pockets here and there, they call them something else. And we heard from a lot of people, but there were two terms that I just came across that I've never heard before.
Oh, really?
Some people call them graveyards. Have you
Graveyard.
heard that? And other people call them swamp water. So
Well,
these
gee, I wonder why.
the sodas that you make at the fountain with a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah, when you're in elementary school, right?
Um,
Are you doing now?
Yeah, elementary school. What do you call that when you go down the taps in the restaurant and make yourself a mixed drink with all the different sweet sodas?
Or the bar.
Or the bar. I think that's called a visit to the bathroom. 877-929-9673, words@waywardradio.org. Hello, you have a way with words.
Hello, my name is Dan. I'm from Beloit, Wisconsin. I was calling. I heard a debate a while ago. I'm real big into listening to them. I'm from Minnesota. And there was a gentleman on there that stated that he didn't like his pie in the sky approach to things. And, you know, on context, you can kind of figure out kind of what he means by it. So I was kind of wondering what the whole pie in the sky thing really meant, where it came from, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea was pie in the sky was something that was unreasonable or like it couldn't possibly be achieved.
That's kind of the way in context he would do there. Yeah, his pie in the sky approach to I believe it was economics.
Yeah, well, actually, I'm really glad you asked about this, Dan, because Pie in the Sky has a fantastic history. It goes back to a song that was a parody back in the early part of the 20th century. It was popularized by a labor organizer named Joe Hill. And Dan, have you ever heard this song, In the Sweet By and By?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah? You're familiar with it then?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I actually have heard that. Now, Do I know all the words to it? No.
No.
But I am familiar with the song.
No, but yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful song. Johnny Cash recorded it, and Willie Nelson. And some of the words you may remember are "In the sweet by and by, we shall meet on that beautiful shore." And it's a song about how, yeah, life may be tough here on Earth, but once we get to heaven, it's all going to be great, right?
Right.
Yeah. Well, what this labor organizer did, he was unhappy with preachers who would go around and say this kind of thing, but ignore the fact that there was a need for social justice and alleviating human suffering right here on earth, right here and now. And so he wrote a parody of that beautiful hymn, "In the Sweet By and By," and he called it "The Preacher and the Slave." And the line that's key here is that he says, "You will eat by and by in that glorious land above the sky. Work and pray, live on hay, you'll get pie in the sky when you die."
Oh, okay.
So this was something that he would go around to logging camps and mining camps and organize migrant workers, singing this song that made fun of people who were pushing, happiness out into the afterlife.
Oh, okay. All right. So this was heaven was a fallacy in a way.
Exactly.
Okay.
So his
All right.
parody song was sung from coast to coast by labor organizers and people in unions, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. And it made a lot of fun of this beautiful song. And, with the rhyme and everything, pie in the sky, and it's such a great image, and it really caught on. And now we use it, but we don't really associate it with this song.
No. That's
Right.
cool.
So in context, when he was using a pie in the sky when it comes to economics, he's saying it was just a false hope.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that'll do it. I appreciate it.
Take care now.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
877-929-9673, words@waywardradio.org. Here's something you don't see every day. We've just launched a brand new section of the website where we're featuring pictures of listeners just like you. We had been asking folks what their favorite words were, and we decided that the best way to share them would be to make a word wall of faces. Want to be a part of it? Want to get your fizz, your mug, your chops, and your special word on our website? Then write your favorite word on a blank piece of paper, take a picture of yourself holding it up close to your face, and send it to us. You can see the faces and words we've already received at waywardradio.org. Just click on the word wall link at the top of every page.
More word lustitude as A Way with Words continues. Support for A Way with Words comes from the Ken Blanchard Companies, whose purpose is to make a leadership difference among executives, managers, and individuals in organizations everywhere. More about Ken Blanchard's leadership training programs at kenblanchard.com/leadership.
You're listening to Away with Words. I'm Grant Barrett.
And I'm Martha Barnett, and joining us now is our quiz guy, John Chinesky. Hi, John.
Hi, Martha. Hi, Grant.
What's up, buddy?
I have just started something brand new and wonderfully interesting for myself. I want to share with you guys.
Okay.
I am working at the National Museum of Mathematics, opening up in New York City.
Whoa.
I don't think I knew there was one.
It's going to open up very soon, and I'm part of the team that's sort of connecting the museum to the community. We're doing programs, and it's going to be a lot of fun. There's all these interesting little exhibits that illustrate different mathematical concepts. It's going to be great.
Oh, cool.
In that spirit, I created a puzzle that has to do with number words. We can't do math puzzles here. We can talk about the words that represent numbers.
Okay.
For example, what number word can be anagrammed to a word that means pull something with a rope?
Pull something with a rope.
Yes.
Number word in English?
Oh.
Yes.
Toe and
Toe.
two. T-W-O-T.
very
Two. That's right. The answer is two can be anagrammed to or transposed to toe. Very good. So that's how this is going to work. You ready?
Okay, yeah.
If you want to write out the numbers in front of you, that might help.
Okay.
Okay.
Here's the first one. Counting upwards, what is the first number that becomes an uncapitalized singular English word when reversed?
Oh.
10.
10
Yeah,
is
10.
correct. It is net, backwards. Good. Now, we're talking about the numbers between 1 and 100 here mostly. We're not going to
Oh
go
boy.
far afield, if that's okay. Between 1 and 100, what's the longest number whose only vowel is E? Let's narrow it down. It's between 1 and 20.
Okay. Oh, so there can be more than one in there. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be,
17?
but 17 is exactly correct,
Okay.
Martha. Good work. This is kind of tricky. Ready? What number becomes 9 when you remove its first letter?
I got it.
You
6.
got it?
6
You
is
take out
correct.
the S. It's the Roman numeral 9.
Oh.
Very good. I told you it was tricky.
Oh, hello.
All right, let's get away from Roman numerals and try something else. What number is odd unless you remove its first letter? Between 1 and 10.
7.
7 is right.
Ooh.
Very good.
I
Take
feel like I
out
should
the
have
S, you got even,
I feel
right?
like I
That's
should have
right.
learned some of these when I was in grade school, but I didn't.
Well, I have kids that are in grade school. That's how I learned this.
Ah, okay.
How about this? What is the first number word, counting up, that becomes a homophone of itself if you remove one vowel?
So you remove a vowel, so it's not going to be 2.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's 4.
It is 4.
Because you would remove a consonant to make 2 sound like to be TW would be TO, but in 4 you remove U to make FOUR become FOR.
Oh,
Exactly right.
Oh.
Well done. What is the only number you can multiply by 10 just by adding one letter to the end of it? The answer to this is between 1 and 10.
8.
8 is correct. What letter do you add?
Y.
A Y. 8 is very good. Can't do that with the 5. You get 5e. With the 4, you get 4e. It doesn't work. What two numbers are the only two between 1 and 100 that begin and end with the same consonant?
19.
19 is 1.
And numpteen.
And numpteen. By the way, 11d12 will not be an answer on any one of these.
40, 11.
97.
97 is
Oh.
correct. Very
Oh,
good.
it's confusing to think about numbers
It's
as words
On the
and
radio,
not as
it's
numbers.
hard.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do math on the radio.
I don't have that
This is-
lobe.
I
I didn't
know.
bring that lobe to work today.
I did not say there would be math. But if you come to the Museum of Mathematics, I can promise you, there will be math. What's the highest number
85.
between 1 and 100 that is a word, even if you remove its first and last letters? This one's between 60 and 100.
Oh, 17.
Oh, look at that.
Okay,
Yeah,
very
Take out
good.
the S
You
and
got
the
a little
Y.
vent in there.
Yeah.
Sitting right in there, between there. These last two are related, okay? And they're kind of classic, so here we go.
Okay.
What number has all of its letters in alphabetical order?
Ooh.
Ooh.
This one's between 20 and 60.
Between 20 and 60.
I'll give you a hint, it begins with F,
Four.
and it goes on from there.
40?
40 is correct. Very good.
Oh, nice. Okay, very
And
good.
finally, what number has all of its letters in reverse alphabetical order? It's between 1 and 10.
Something
Oh.
is in
6? No.
No.
reverse alphabetical order. It will be the number 1.
Number 1 is correct. And the first shall be last. That is our last question.
Thank you very much for the quiz. You're always
Thank
welcome.
you, guys.
Bye-bye. 877-929-9673. Words, waywardradio.org, and the Twitter handle is Wayward.
How do you have a way with words?
Hi, this is Kathy, and I'm calling from Greensboro, North Carolina.
Hello, Kathy. From
Hi, Kathy.
Greensboro.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I was calling. I was telling my parents about your great show, and it started a wonderful conversation about some of the things that my grandmother used to say. She's from Savannah, Georgia, and so she used some wonderful phrases to describe all of the enormous bugs that they had down there. And we were just wondering what was unique to her, or what was unique to Savannah, or just what was unique to places with enormous bugs.
Bugs? What kind of bugs?
Specifically,
I'm going to try calling their podcast.
to Wait with Words, Public Radio's show about language.
You were probably expecting a live person, but this is how everybody gets a chance to be on the show.
We listen to all the calls. If yours is selected, a producer will be in touch to get you on a future episode.
After the beep, leave us a message. Give us your name and your number, then share your questions and stories. Don't leave anything out.
If you don't hear back soon, please try again sometime.
You can also email us, words@waywordradio.org.
Sometimes we use your voicemails on the air, in a podcast, or on our website. When we do, we'll always remove your last name and phone number, okay?
Here we go. Name, number, question.
My name is Jonathan. My question is, what's the origin of the word carrot?
Mosquitoes and palmetto bugs.
Oh yeah, those big palmetto bugs. Yep. Yeah, I lived in Florida for a while. I know about all about those.
Yeah. So she used to call the really big mosquitoes, she would call them gallon nippers.
Gallon nippers.
Yeah. Because they would take a gallon.
Yeah, they nip you and take a gallon of your blood, yep.
And then she might also say about the mosquitoes that they were so big that they could stand flat-footed and kiss a turkey.
Oh, I know.
Which is my favorite.
That's nice.
I know a less polite version of that.
Oh, my goodness. And then she also used to call the palmetto bugs, she called them Chatham County eagles.
Oh, nice.
Chatham County? Is that
Yeah.
that Savannah's County?
Yes, it is.
Chatham County Eagles.
Oh, there's a long tradition, and I would say that it comes from the American tall tale tradition. There is a long tradition of making up stories about the size of the bugs where you're from.
How big was that bug?
Yeah, and there's a ton of these. Like in Arkansas, they would say that a mosquito was so big that you could trap it and train it to drill for oil.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
In Louisiana, the mosquitoes are so big they show up on radar.
Oh, that's nice.
And in Wisconsin, in the summertime, they're so big that they have to file flight plans. There's a ton of these.
That's great.
And in Florida, the mosquitoes are so big they have leashes. But to answer your original question, the one about the turkey, that the mosquito's so big that it could stand flat-footed and kiss a turkey, that one's got some mileage on it, so folks know that one. The gallon nipper, I've heard versions of that as well. Here we go. In East Texas, you're just not safe. The big mosquitoes push the little ones right through their window screens.
Oh, that's wonderful. I had no idea there are so many different ways.
Yeah, but Kathy, this is part of the American tall tale tradition, like the riverboat guys and the liars competitions, where the folks that just sit on the porch and everybody keeping a straight face, but each fella taking a turn at a lie and just see if he can top the other guy. And you know that you win because everyone just leaves. There's no laughter, there's no applause, but you told them everyone just gets up.
And this might be a tall tale, but my father always said that my grandmother used to say that you should never let the truth stand in the way of a good story.
Right on. Or a good idiom.
Why doesn't politicians believe that?
That's right.
Kathy, this is wonderful. I don't know if I helped you at all, but I had some fun.
Well, no, that was very interesting. Thank you so much.
Our pleasure. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Kathy. Bye-bye.
Take care now.
Bye-bye.
If you've got local stories or catchphrases or jokes about how big or bad your insects are, give us a call, 877-929-9673, or send them an email to words@waywardradio.org. Hello, you have a way with words.
Yeah, hi, Grant and Martha. My name is Nathaniel, and I'm calling from the great state of Vermont.
Hi, Nathaniel.
Hi.